Okay, so here is the proposal sheet, and this is uh yes, so this would be a sheet. So in terms of if we were going to present our animation to an actual um, potential perhaps advertising agency, so it'd be for perhaps for advertising or perhaps for just for an art gallery uh, or a perhaps an event like VidCon or something, a sort of video movie festival, something like that. So we this would be a proposal to sort of describe what is our animation about, why we would do it, what we need to do, what sort of resources do we need to do it, how long will it take to do this animation, and in what kind of themes is it going to present, and will it be suitable? So for us, our target audience would be people our age. So sort of say 16 to 25-year-old age group. Um, the sort of, or I guess millennial generation is one way of describing it. Um, People who will have a sort of, I guess, anti-establishment political view, or as our animation was be like sort of describing how politics have been going in recent times, um, as it involves the recent king dying and the discussion of a new one, and ignoring the fact reason of why he died, and then they all die because of ignorance, infighting, and getting killed by force, an unknown force, essentially. Potentially describing Trump in the current election, for example. And our animation would be viewed on the internet, so it's one of those where ideally someone would find it and then sort of enjoy it as a peculiar little thing on the internet. That's my view on it anyway. In terms of the format and props and such, we'd have so there'd be toys, so the animal toys, and then my bionicle dragon creature. So I need to build that for it, and the toys would be already available. The for the board, it'll be 70 by 100, I believe. Um, but I think that might change um, later, so it'll be around that sort of size, about the size of this table. Well, about half the, almost the size of this table, I reckon. Um, and in terms of lighting, I think originally we thought about having like a sort of stage light, or like the light would be shining on top of these animals. Uh, the board itself will have this sort of creamy, yellowy wallpaper, or something yellowy to sort of describe a savanna or desert. The background will be black, um, because we want to have this sort of stage performance um, feel to it, I guess you could say. The camera placement will be in front of the dead line, and then all the animals will be behind the line. You'll be able to see them, and in the background you might see the mecha coming in. Um, and this will be to make it easy to see everyone in the best way. So we had these two ideas of maybe perhaps having even eagle eye view, but this perspective I'm thinking was like something like this. Um, will make it probably the best to you can see everyone most clearly. Um, in terms of frame rate, we used doubles, so it would be, we'd only have to shoot 12 frames, but the 12 frames would be, so each single frame within the 12 frames would be played twice per millisecond, is it? Or twice, so we make 24 frames per second, something like that. I'm not exactly sure about the specifics, but it's like, yeah, I've explained that in the before bit for artists and stuff like that. Movement, so it would be sort of kind of puppet animation, but like without the sticks and stuff. The movement will be sort of slidey, I guess, or you'll just be moving the animals essentially. And then apart from the Bionicle, who will have joints, I'll be able to kind of give him a bit more of a lifelike movement, but it might be difficult considering the joints might be a bit rubby. The sounds we'd use would be so I think like jungly music or like music that's related to Africa, maybe some drums, perhaps some bird singing sound effects, and then the mood would be a sort of satirical mood, a sort of almost comedic mood is sort of what we're aiming for. In terms of time, I reckon it would take us. So we'd probably have like 24 hours, well, no, perhaps about 6 hours. I'd say 6 hours. It's gone down a lot, but about 6 hours to build our Bionicle dragon, and then another 6 hours to actually animate everything. And about the amount that we'll actually animate will be probably about a minute, or perhaps maybe a little more than a minute. But that might change depending on how everything goes. But it should take about, so if it's divided into 6 hours, it'd be we'd have 3 hours to animate the introduction of the dead lion and the animal's reaction to that, and then another 3 hours to animate the final bit with the dragon coming in and destroying everyone or making everyone run away. Or no, hang on, but we also have to put in the editing. So maybe perhaps I think the editing would be an extra 3 hours then. So in total 9 hours, 12 hours plus 3, 15 hours. Yeah, 15 hours. So we would have 3 hours to animate or edit the actual animation. So this make it look good and all that in post-production. In terms of how realistic it is, it depends on whether we actually get 6 hours to animate. If we don't, then we might have to work out on ways of shortening the animation a bit. Make sure that we're quite flexible. Perhaps in the post-production, replay a couple of scenes depending on how well it all flows together. In terms of budget, everything should be already available to us, so we won't have to buy anything. So it'll be free. There won't be really a budget. We'll just be bringing our stuff that we already own and using them in this. In terms of limitations, we were also thinking about perhaps having like paper mouths or something on the animal faces to make it look like they're talking. However, we might have to simply move him about a bit. Um, like when they're talking, we'll just sort of move them more than normal to give an essence that they're talking. We also considered blue tack to make them look like they're jumping up and down, but that didn't look very good because the camera could show the blue tacks, which was unfortunate. And with the dragon, there is a bit on the mouth that we can move. However, it makes the whole dragon move when you take a piece off him. Um, that's my prediction anyway. So that's my proposal, I think. So yeah, I'll move on to the next thing now.